page 14, we have question 61. It says the quadratic equation x minus 3 squared equals 12 is written in perfect square form. It's called this because the expression x minus 3 squared forms a square if we were to build it with algebra tiles. Okay, so here's what it would look like with algebra tiles. We're not going to do that right at the moment, but that we've seen it before. Okay, part A, they just want us to solve it and write our answer in exact form, or what they call radical form. That is, write it in the form that is precise and does not have any decimals. Okay? So we're going to take the square root of the both sides. So that leaves us with just x minus 3 on the left here. And when we take the square root of 12, we get plus or minus the square root of 12. We know that we can factor 12 to the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, and the square root of 4 is 2. So now we have 3 plus or minus 2 square roots of 3. All right? It wants to know how many solutions are there. There are 2 solutions there. It looks like there's only one, but because of the plus minus, that's how we're going to get our 2 solutions. Part C says the solution from part A are irrational. That is, they are decimals that are never repeated, that never repeat and never end. Write the solutions in approximate decimal form. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. I'm going to show you how to do it on my calculator, but you don't have your own handheld calculator and you're at home, you can use the Desmo Scientific Calculator or the one that's in Delta Math. Okay, so for the square root of 3, you simply just type the square root of 3, and it's going to give you, can't see it, that decimal, and they want us to round it to how many places? To the nearest hundredth, so 2 decimal places. So even though it's this big long decimal, just round it to 2 places, okay? But they don't actually want just square root of 3, they want 2 square roots of 3. So if you type 2 square root of 3, it's actually going to give you 3.46 if you round it instead of writing that big long decimal. Okay? So you can type 3 plus 3.46, which will get you 6.46, or type 3 minus 3.46, which will get you negative 0.46. That's how you get 2 answers. And the calculator will do all that work for you. So it looks complicated, but just punch it in the calculator and it'll spit it out. Okay. For the last one is what we're going to do in our groups of 4. Okay. Says the equation in problem 61 had 2 solutions. However, in problem 60, you saw that a quadratic equation might have 1 solution or no solution at all. How can you determine the number of solutions to a quadratic equation? In your teams of 4, you're going to solve the equation below, express your answers in both exact form and approximate form, look for patterns among the equations with no solution and those with only 1 solution. Be ready to report your patterns to the class. Okay? You don't have to do all of them. Each team is only going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay? So let me figure out who's doing what.